post on this channel. I started this night. I was about to do exactly what they wanted me to. And without further elaboration, you can use your imagination. Something pulled me out of it. And I read a book one time, about how America started and all that. And there was a lot of brave men. That fought and died for this country. And the beginnings of this country were kind of great. Unfortunately, sometime soon after that, we got a whole bunch of pussy-ass bitches in office, and people that had no sack whatsoever and just a good smile, in power, and our country went to shit. So I'm not going to bore you with all types of rhetoric here. I'm going to get right down to the nitty-gritty in this video. So you see some of my videos, and a lot of people must be saying, like, when they're trying to set me up, and you're like, yeah, sure, buddy, sure. They must be like, why are they trying to set you up? What I've noticed, and whether it's a blessing or curse, a lot of people are envious of it, and I have no clue why you'd want to be, but a lot of people just live kind of normal lives, from what I've noticed, just normal lives. They don't understand the complexity of some people's lives and the roles that some people play. And I kind of, you hear the word scapegoat, it gets thrown around very loosely, and you don't really know what it means. Scapegoat to what? What is a scapegoat? Well, I'll tell you my scapegoat story, and I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. So, my whole life, I grew up in a good family, good area. I had everything you think you ever want. Nice cars, motorcycles, all this. But it was all a front. And you've probably seen, some of you may have seen my manifesto, in which I kind of outlined, how my local government was just kind of killing people and just getting rid of them, I don't know why they'd bring a friggin' little kid around with them to do this, but they did. I assumed so I would assume the scapegoat role. And that's exactly what happened in my life. My grandfather I love my grandfather still, I always will. But my grandfather was a relatively powerful political figure. He's got a good smile, he's a good talker, he's got the gift of gab. He's a politician. But my grandfather also has some real big demons, man. A lot of people, even to this day, he walks away and they tell me, oh, you're so lucky, you got a good grandfather, You know what, in some respects, I do. But I think it's important for people to understand the full story of what happened in my life. And now that we have, like, the internet and YouTube and all this stuff, someone's got to grow the sack. Someone's got to grow the sack and tell the story, or else this thing's just going to keep going and going and going and going. America's on a downward spiral, man. Downward spiral. And some of you may be living good lives, and you might not be troubled by local government, but let me tell you, they are bad, and there are some people that are suffering. So, like I said, I was about to start this night and do what they wanted me to do. Become a monster. The monster that they've made me all these years. When I turn my back, they tell people, oh, don't hang out with him, he's the bad guy, he's the monster. I've been called that so many times, man. But let me tell you what really happened, all right? And this is a common thing. This doesn't just happen to me. You even see it in black and whites. You see the guy and he's getting thrown in handcuffs. I've been framed. Yeah, sure, buddy. It happens. And in my case, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes. But in my case, we had a very dirty government where I grew up in the Cape. very, very dirty government, and we still do. And before they successfully set me up, which they tried to do multiple times, or they, fuck me off, I want to tell the story about what a scapegoat is, my scapegoat story. So, as the government is going around killing these people all over it, the Rainey wives, the Providence murders, and so on, just all types of wild things that were happening in local government at that time. I was around it all, since a little boy. But I never was a squealer. I never squealed, and I held that secret in my whole life. And it didn't pay off. It wasn't actually until I went to prison and I got around some good dudes. And when I first went to prison, there's something in the prison system called a grievance system. So when you get mistreated or whatever, you file a grievance. I wouldn't even file grievances when I went to prison. And it wasn't until I went to maximum security prison and I got around some really good guys that were like, you're going to let the cops and the corrections officers abuse you. What do they do when you do something? They write you a disciplinary report. They put you in the hole. They arrest you, so on and so forth. And that was kind of where my mind changed a little bit. It didn't fully change until my grandfather started doing things that I thought he would never do. We won't get into them, but my mother died, which opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I couldn't even make it to her funeral. But that's a whole other story. So my scapegoat story is I grew up with all this stuff happening, and the cops need somebody to either blame or make the villain. Somebody's always got to assume the villain role. And like I said, I've been called the monster. The monster my whole life. And again, I haven't been perfect, but the monster. It's been wild. So I want everybody to know that this will probably be my last post. I'm making some big decisions here in my life right now. The police have really done a number on me. They want to get me out of the picture, because if I'm in the picture still, they can't solve any of these things that they know have to be unearthed at some time. They have to be unearthed. We got so many unsolved murders down here on the Cape. Go take a look, Google it. And they got to start chalking them up. They have to. Whether it just be, like I said in other videos, just the decay of infrastructure, or whatever it is, they have to start chalking up some of these bodies, and the bones are there. So people that know things, people that you think that you're doing the right thing by keeping your mouth shut, and in most situations you do, but when it comes to people in power, and especially people like the police, you can't keep your mouth shut, man. That's what I've realized, and I'm a hardened con. You can't keep your mouth shut when it comes to the fucking police. And I'm not trying to be no Frank White. This isn't that type of situation. This is a very evil situation, and it happens all the time. And a lot of good people get real bad raps, and they become the scapegoat. They become the villain. They become the bad guy. So, with the age of, social media and YouTube and just the internet, someone's got to grow a sack and try to stop it, because it's going to just continue on. It almost did tonight. So, just know that there's some real good people out there that got real bad raps, and you need to ask why. Don't always just believe the local cops, man. Don't believe the police in general, the government in general, local, state, federal. They're all dirty as hell. They all have a part in it. Carrot shop roads littered with bodies, all paved over, littered with bodies. And they know this. This isn't like a secret to them, but you know, they look every which way. Which way? Where are they? Where'd they go? You know. And my whole life's been a sham. My whole life's been a sham since I've been a kid. You know, every girlfriend I've ever had has been either turned on me or been an informant. So they're plucked in and plucked out. You know, at any given time, and they've really, you know, sunk their claws into my life over the years because of what I knew and what I've seen and what I know. And I never minded for years. It didn't really bother me. But as you mature and you start to go through these things, and you start to realize that life is just a flash in the pan, man. What's your legacy going to be? You're going to go out like a chump, or you're going to go out fighting, you know? And, you know, those are decisions that everyone's got to make, but that's my scapegoat story. So, you know, the monster, the bad guy, the villain. I want to ask him what the real story is.